Welcome back, people. Welcome back to another show. Um, come on in. Let's talk a little bit of sports. We got some action today. It was a little quiet on the Western Front. No, so we got the Final Four that's locked in for the men's. We got a whole bunch of number ones. It's a chalked Final Four. A lot of people have been kind of whining and complaining about that. They're doing a segment right now on ESPN about like, oh, blah blah blah. This women's basketball is officially set in the Final Four. I kind of find it, again, I don't know how they manage like scheduling and stuff, but like all three of the four Final Four teams, they were ready to go, but then they had a game tonight between UConn and USC. Personally, I guess I skipped out on it, and I thought, you know what, hey, this game probably would have already happened, because I thought UConn and USC was going to be a Final Four matchup. Like, I knew that TCU had lost to Texas. I knew that South Carolina had moved and made a position into the Final Four. And so my brain already kind of like forgot one whole region of the bracket. My bad. I'll admit that. But Paige had a 31-point performance for UConn tonight that helped propel them to the Final Four. They ended up beating USC 78-64. Now, the biggest glaring thing, and this is going to go against Buckers, and this is going to go against UConn, and all the credibility of it, and I'll just say right now, it's because Juju Watkins was injured, the ACL. That can't be ignored. Now, do I think UConn could have beat USC if Juju was healthy? I think it's a whole different game. Maybe. I would definitely take Coach Gino and the experience of UConn over SC. But again, like it's one of those things where, knock on wood, Janai Broom, he went down with an ankle injury. Yeah, that's going to affect how Auburn's, going to play in the Final Four. Or if, it didn't really affect Duke too much in the ACC tournament. We saw that Cooper Flagg went down early, and he sat the whole thing. And bench players got some reps, and they got themselves ready for some tournament play. So I think, we'll see how it sits right now. I'm leaning towards UCLA and SC. I think Dawn Staley has a shot at getting another title, because that's kind of how this thing rolls. Women's basketball, like, there's the blue bloods of blue bloods, where it's like, hey, this is who the top of the top is, and then everybody else is kind of like, there is a level, there is a gap, and we know this when we watch. All right, but so that's what's going on in the women's world. What else do we want to talk about today? We got some bans. We got proposed one of the stupidest shit I read today. Them potentially wanting to ban the tush push. We have PED suspension in the MLB. We got some records that are being set by the Dodgers and by the Celtics. I mean, we got a couple things to cover today, so let's just cover it. Okay, let's start with the MLB. First one that everybody's going to talk about is Profar. Profar is going to be suspended for 80 games due to PED violations. I don't know. I never played baseball professionally to know, hey, why are PEDs important? Why should we use PEDs? What's the advantage? I think it's kind of silly. Whether it was, gosh, who got caught? Literally someone, and I was like, okay, nice job, dumbass. Someone got caught with, it was in the NFL. Who got caught? Shit, I'm blanking. Someone in the NFL got caught. Damn it. Why? I can't think of the name. And I talked about it during the stream. I think it's silly to take performance-enhancing drugs when literally you're paid millions of dollars to be a professional athlete, to work on your body, to work and perfect your craft. Like, it's kind of silly. It seems a little silly to use PEDs to get stronger when it's like, hit the gym. Lift a little bit more, lift a little heavier, squat a little lower to build muscle, and then also work on the mechanics of your swing. That's definitely going to take you a lot farther than steroids, because, I mean, McGuire, Sosa, and the steroid era of baseball was phenomenal to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of think it's silly. So, Braves are kind of in shambles right now. I mean, they lost to the Dodgers tonight, 6-1. There's the home run at the end of the game, but it was already too little, too late. Um, Dodgers, their record and what they're doing right now is they are 6-0. 6-0 to start the season. This is tying their second best franchise start. The record, because they were talking about at the end of the broadcast, happened sometime in the 50s. They went 10-0 to start the season. Do I think the Dodgers could do that? Mayhaps. But, like, starting 6-0 is pretty damn impressive. Sad start for the Braves, though. It's been tough sledding for them. They got blanked by the Padres in their first series, and now they roll up to the second series against the Dodgers, and it's not getting any better. They lose this first one. Let me check the Dodgers schedule, and I want to see who they got coming up here. Regular season full schedule. Here we go. First half. So those two games the two games against Chicago in Japan, I'll kind of count them, but not really, because there's an asterisk to them, because I mean, it was Japan, it was a showcase game. So there's that. Okay, they play Atlanta, and then they play Philadelphia, and then they play Washington. They're bound. Philadelphia's bound. Okay, so they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what? Oh, whoops! I accidentally. Whoops! My bad. So they're 6-0. I don't think they could get 10-0 and break the record. They got to play Atlanta twice, and then they got to go to Philadelphia twice. So I just think the odds of them losing at least one game, them going 8-2, very possible. But them going 10-0, I don't see it. But again, it's baseball. Like, they could lose. Literally, they could lose the next 4 straight games, 5 straight games. But then Atlanta, let's see where they could catch a break, because they haven't started off too hot either, being 0-5, losing their first 4 games against the Padres in San Diego, and then coming to LA and losing. I think they could sneak one out and run out of LA with at least one win, but losing the series 1-2. Then they have Miami, and then they have Philadelphia. They could definitely bounce back, and I could see them getting 2 out of the 3 against Miami. And then I'm a little torn on Philly, and if they can get 2 wins against Philly. But that, a lot of people were really high on the Braves coming into the season, so to see them start 0-5 is kind of funny. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the 80-game suspension for Profar. I think it does affect the Braves, but not to a. I don't think it has a big impact, as big of an impact as, let's say, the Yankees with Garrett Cole. I mean, that's a pitcher, and he's one of your ace pitchers. So we'll see. What else we got going on in the MLB world? Left-handed pitcher Crochet gets a $170 million deal. De La Cruz hit 7 RBIs for the Reds with him using the torpedo bat. That's the hot button right now that everybody's talking about in the MLB. Jazz Chisholm came out with the Yankees. He kind of made a statement, and everybody's talking about it. It's the hot thing right now, I'll admit, kind of grifting off of it. I think I do have a video I've already made. It's going to post here any second. I think we're all hating on it. No, I don't give a shit. Like, I think if it's within the length and ounces of the regulation of the MLB for the bat, dude, by all means, like, even if you make like a little wham bam wiffle bat where because for example, the photo that they have right now, the butt of the bat, like the blunt end of the bat, is just as thick as the barrel. Dude, if you make that thing, trying to think of, like, okay, a PVC pipe. If you make the handle about as skinny as a PVC pipe, but you tape up the butt end of the bat like a hockey stick, and then you just PVC pipe, and then all of a sudden, like it goes out thick and stuff, like a wiffle ball bat. Dude, I don't give a shit, because you still have to know what the pitcher's going to throw at you, make sure he's not painting the corners, time it up with your mechanics of the swing to be able to hit it. Because even the best hitters, Aaron Judge, who else has started hot? Jazz Chisholm, Schwarber. I know Schwarber started pretty good for the Phillies. Soto, whoever the hitter is, like, some of these pitchers can still make you look foolish, you know. So I think, it's because it's the Yankees that everybody's freaking out. I do think that if it was any other team, like if Shohei stepped up with a torpedo bat, like, because everybody's talking about it right now. Watch when Shohei, the second Shohei, or Soto, or I could see them booing Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's kind of you either love him or hate him. But like the second some of these big hitters step up with one of these torpedo bats, they're going to be like, look how inventive, look at the innovation of the game, look at the game moving forward. Like, I think, it's baseball. It's baseball. It's not too crazy. At this time, handful seasons back, whether it was last season or the season before, we were talking about the pitch clock and the pitch count and how much that would affect the game. Guess what? Spoiler alert, it didn't. So I think, it's nothing too crazy. What else? Dodgers Freeman, he's going to miss. I read that totally wrong. I said shoulder. I read shoulder. No, never mind. We're going to skip over that one. Okay, so that's everything in the MLB. Let me look at the standings, because right now I saw the ending to the Dodgers-Braves game. Chicago and the Athletics, they're still going strong, 17-3. I did see the tail end where the bat boy caught a drone. So it's like, look at this. This is going to be on a video somewhere. But Phillies beat the Rockies 6-1. Angels beat the Cardinals, handing them their first loss. Angels are 3-1, just in time to, I'm impressed with what. Never mind. I'm not going to rant about the Angels right now. It's a Monday. Brewers lose, so they're still 0-4, looking for their first win. Royals are 2-2. Sox and a loss to the Twins, so Chicago 2-2. Twins are 0-4. The Red Sox also starting slow. They're 1-4. The Orioles are 3-2. Mets get a win 10-4 against the Marlins. Reds, holy cow, yep. That will definitely help. Ellie De La Cruz's 7 RBIs when 2 of them are home runs. In 14-3 victory over the Rangers. Pirates lose to the Rays. Blue Jays beat the Nationals. Giants beat the Astros 7-2. Padres beat Cleveland 7-2. Tigers and Mariners 9-6. And then Dodgers 6, Braves 1. So, baseball's starting out hot. I want to do a power rankings video, and I think I might do it weekly or something, where probably my how I will gauge the rankings is I'll probably go to overall, and I'll look at win streak and probably point differential. Proposal to ban the tush push has support within competition committee. Hold on, let me mute. I want to see what Mike Variable's saying. Oh, bullshit. Coach talk. A lot of coach talk, a lot of political answers. Talking like politicians. We had Harbaugh talk about, well, we got to listen to the doctors. No, the fuck we don't. No. Because if we're going to listen to the doctors, where the hell's my... I have a football helmet up there. On the back, there is a warning label on a football helmet where it's like, hey, wear at your own risk. Like, these are grown-ass men. They know what they're doing. They know what they're signing up for. They're getting paid millions of dollars. And it's not like, dance for me, you know. But, like, these are modern-day gladiators. And I know that's so corny to say, but, like, these guys have protection. They have the helmets. They have the shoulder pads. Like, these guys want to play the game. Like, there are some crazy, crazy athletes out there that, yeah, they like the hit. They like contact. Linemen. If they didn't want to be a lineman, they'd be a punter. They'd be a kicker. They'd be a receiver. Like, there are some guys that just, they love hitting. They love the competitiveness of the game. And so the fact that, like, the coaches have gotten together and started to talk about it, like, I know a handful of coaches have said, no, don't ban it. And then there's some that will slowly say, yes, please ban it. I hate to say this, but there's part of me that they will try to make this political. And they will try to make this a political standing point of, well, we're worried about this and that. And like some of my thoughts that I've expressed in a video that's coming out is there's other shit that the NFL needs to worry about when it comes to plays, rules, and regulation. Like one that I say this jokingly, but we got to figure out what the hell a catch is, because I don't think we've figured that out yet, because they're still overturning some catches. We're still, we got to figure out what the hell targeting is, because sometimes there are some games, whether it's in the college level or the NFL level, because the NFL level, the college level looks at the NFL, and the NFL is kind of like the pilot for how the rules trickle down. We got to figure out what the hell targeting is, because there are some egregious, calls. We got to figure out how to fix the NFL officiating, because some of the officiating is absolute dog shit. Dog shit. There are games where the refs are blowing whistles early, missing holding calls, giving holding calls, defensive pass interferences, roughing the passer, illegal man downfield, because that was the one everybody was complaining about for like the first 4-ish weeks of the NFL season, is when you have your tackle in his 2-point stance, but because of how far back he is, if you have 2 men off the line of scrimmage plus your, linemen, technically you have too many in the backfield. It's like, figure out that kind of bullshit before we go. Also, figure out concussion protocol and how to, make the helmet safe before we go after like stupid shit like this. And then the last one too that I wanted to talk about was, do we penalize the quarterback for flopping? That was something that they were talking about, and I'd mentioned it a couple times, where Josh Allen got freaking lit up. What's his face? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the defender, but Jared Goff threw a pick 6 against Washington, and he got his ass lit up. No 15-yard penalty, no nothing. Yet Mahomes dicks around, does a circle or two, and then dives at the very last second. We have 2 Texans players running into each other over top of him, and we call it roughing the passer. It's stuff like that where it's like, let's fix these kind of penalties and this kind of shit before we're trying to ban a play that the Eagles have just dominated everybody else in, and we're getting offended by it because we can't stop them. Like, I'm proud to be a Packers fan, like, that's my team, but it's like, like the fact that Gutekunst was kind of like the spearhead and the start of like, hey, we should propose a ban on this play. It's like, the hell are we doing? Like, we shouldn't be listening. Like, owners, GMs, doctors to a point, like, the people who should have say on what happens on the field should be the players, coaches. That is it. That is it. We shouldn't have Roger Goodell. We shouldn't have doctors who aren't even on the facility watching the film as much as we are as the fans, determining, well, this would risk a lot of injury, when there's no proven stat. There's no stats out there. And like the whole kickoff thing and all that, like, it's just like, first it started with like targeting, and then it went to defenseless receivers, jumping over kickers. Like, there's linemen when you're snapping during a punt or a field goal. Like, there's so many plays that are getting taken away from the game. And like, like, we should protect defenseless receivers. We should. Like, the linebacker or the safety over the top should not have just free reign to fly in there with the crown of his head and just absolutely take someone out. You look at the old Raiders, Ronnie Lott, a little bit of Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed. Like, we look at old time football plays. Yeah, that's a lot of the highlights because that's just how the game was back then. We want to take that out, but like, when you take out a routine play like this, like, the difference between the tush push and like a routine normal run play on a 4th and 1 is someone's pushing the quarterback. That's it, because the linemen are doing the same thing. They're trying to get lower than the defensive lineman guy in front of him to push him off the ball to, hey, look at that, bias a yard, bias 2 yards. And so I think it's stupid. I think the NFL has bigger fish to fry, but because I think I'm not saying the NFL's trying to punish the Eagles, but like the fact that the Eagles have had a handful of tush push touchdowns in the Super Bowl, absolutely belt to ass the Chiefs and stop their chance at a 3P. Like, there's parts of me that feels like, the NFL's kind of taking it out on Philly, where it's like, oh, we wanted the Chiefs to get a 3P, but you guys stopped it. Now, I know that's over exaggerating, and that would be like the victim mindset of, oh, we just win so much, you can't. Like, I know a lot of Philly fans might feel that way, and they could kind of have that approach, but it's kind of silly where, it only takes a good center, QB who actually wants to draw contact, and a running back or tight end that will push him. That's seriously, that's all it takes. And getting lower than the other guy. Because I bet if the Cowboys tried this back in like 2016, 2017, they'd probably be pretty successful at it. I think the top centers and guards of the league, they could run the tush push very successfully. But you have to have a quarterback that wants to get down and dirty. Like, do you think Caleb Williams would want to run a tush push play? Do you think CJ Stroud? Aaron Rodgers sure as hell is not doing a tush push play with his old ass 40-year-old. No, like, there's no way. Josh Allen, yeah. Mahomes, yeah. Burrow, depends on the game. Like, to compare Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, like, Josh Allen will go look for contact and run the ball. Joe Burrow won't. Tua would, but hopefully Coach McDaniels has his head screwed on straight, where he's like, no, we are keeping you far away from contact. I can't even think of any other quarterbacks off the top of my head that would want to, besides Jalen Hurts, want to draw that contact. It just comes from, do you want to run this play or not? Toughness, like mental toughness. Like, I think, Detroit Lions offense and Jared Goff, hell yeah, they'd run that shit. And Amon-Ra would be on one side and Gibbs would be on the other, trying to push Goff into the end zone. So I think it's kind of silly to try to take away a play in the NFL. It's no different than taking away a punt, lateral pass, QB option. Like, it's dumb. It's so stupid. Because I think, now that I think about it, and I didn't get to put this in my video, I think they've also banned and taken away hurdles. Like, if we're on the 2-yard line, 1-yard line, hike, hand it off to Saquon. Saquon can't jump over the line into the end zone. I think they've banned that too, because they don't want the linebacker and the running back running into each other in the middle of the air. How stupid's that? Like, I would love to see, could you imagine Warner and Barkley running into each other in the middle of the air? That should be fun. That shit would be so fun, but it is what it is. Like, this personally, when the NFL takes away stuff like this, and so it's so weird. I'm still on my soapbox. I'll get off here in 2 seconds. When they take away stuff like the kickoff and all, this and that, hitting the quarterback, it makes me like college football more. Seriously. So, might sound crazy, but yeah. All right. So that was because I just saw it was on the screen over here. They're talking about the NFL trying to ban it. We're talking about standings in the MLB. Long story short, I think I'm going to start to do some power rankings for the MLB and maybe the UFL. I don't know. Like, I want to cover the spring football league, but if it comes to a point where it's like, okay, don't have enough time to cover it, I'm going to throw it on the back burner. Because I'll be honest, it's spring football. And that's not to say that like that's bad, but I mean, we have is this? No, that's not my paper. I had a pen. Where's my wallet? I know it's in my wallet. Like, I wrote down 35-ish teams who start spring training. Their spring game. Like, Clemson is going to come up this Friday or Saturday. And all of April into the last Friday, like May 5th or something, that's when Washington has the last one. I want to figure out when Arizona State's is so I can go to Arizona's. But, like, spring games are going to roll around, come around the corner here after the Final Four and the playoffs start for the NBA and the NHL. And, like, I'm going to want to cover that, and I'm going to want to have my pre-season rankings, post-spring game rankings, and predictions. Week 0 predictions, week 1 like, I'm going to want to do that. And, like, so the UFL is not going to be in the back of my mind at that time. But I think I'll probably be able to make it work and squeeze it in, because I mean, when you try to cram it all in August, like how I did last season, like, yeah, it feels like you don't have any time. But, like, if you watch and you keep up, like, I know April, I think it's April 20. Let me look at the Saturday, the 19th. No, it's either the 12th through the 19th. Like, that's the day Ohio State's having theirs, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss. Like, there are so many teams on that particular Saturday where they're just running with it. I think so it would be May 3rd. Yeah, May 3rd would be Washington. I think Oregon's is on Friday, May 2nd, or they're on the 26th. I know Oregon's spring game is not on the same weekend as the other teams. Penn State's is somewhere. I think Penn State's is in May too. But anyways, regardless, I'm going to want to cover that too when it pops up. So we'll do rankings. We'll probably do power rankings for baseball coming up. Would there be a reason to do power rankings for the NHL and the NBA right now as we sit? No, because there's only 5 more games. I will probably do power rankings going into the playoffs. Like, hey, I'm going to rank, out of all, debating on what I split it up to. These are the, teams 1 through 8 on the East, 1 through 8 on the West. Or should I do top 16? Maybe. That is yet to be determined. Okay, let's move on, though. So, that's the MLB. In the NBA today, some of the big stuff that happened is the Pelicans are shutting down Zion and McCollum for the rest of the season. I think the Pelicans were eliminated 2 weeks ago. They've just skittered right along. Same with, Jazz, Nets, Sixers. So there's that. Sources. Durant is expected to miss at least 1 week. Yes, I talked about this a little bit the other day. How the Rockets and the Suns got together. Rockets ended up blowing them out. Dylan Brooks got ejected for yelling at the ref, which I think it was pretty soft. The depending on what he says, probably would change my opinion on that. But would the NBA ever leak the audio? Probably not. Because you can look at it of, oh, he got ejected because he shoved KD and the other guy. No, it's definitely talking to the ref. But I looked at the upcoming games for the Suns. They got to play Boston. They got to play New York. They got to play Golden State. They got to play the Thunder. So they've got a lot of big games ahead of them. And they're a couple games back from the play-in tournament. So, like, it is tough sledding from here on out for the Phoenix Suns. And so when we read this thing where Durant is expected to miss at least 1 week, and I was kind of looking at the teams that they were playing and who they had up, and I was like, you know what? We can probably, he'll come back just in time to go play, the Spurs or something like that. Spurs and Sacramento, the final 2 games. It might be too late by then, and they might be eliminated. So I would not be surprised if how we sit right now, March 31st, Phoenix Suns do not make the play-in tournament. They do not make the playoffs because they got to play Milwaukee, Boston, New York, Golden State, Oklahoma City. Look at those tough teams, and they've lost 3 in a row. They, coming off a skid. 3, okay, the Minnesota one, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, 124-109. But, again, blown out by Boston, 132-102. And then Houston, 148-109. Yikes. So, I think we're kind of seeing the final days of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Phoenix Suns era. Because Beal's gone. I know Beal's gone. They will trade him. And then I know Booker's not leaving, but there's a lot of talks that KD might leave, so it wouldn't surprise me if Durant up and left. So, yeah. Okay, what else is going on in the NBA? Yes. Okay, I forgot this one. Celtics set franchise record with a 6-0 road trip. You're telling me, in all the years the Celtics have been a team, they've never won 6 road games in a row? All right, sources PJ Tucker to sign a 2-year deal with the Knicks. You know what? I think that's solid for the Knicks. PJ Tucker, he's a good bench player. He's a good, hey, we could use him. I take a PJ Tucker over gosh, I can't even think of some names right now because it's just so, it's late. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty late and my brain's kind of fried. Oh my gosh, Domantas Sabonis. Slam dunk on Bradley. Yikes. Stephen A. Smith thought about the Pistons Timberwolves skirmish. He's like, you know what? This is what I wish would have happened with LeBron and I a couple weeks ago. The fight, listen, it's not a fight, it's a skirmish. No punches were thrown. It was just a whole bunch of grab, let's push, let's dance a little bit into the stands. I think that's what makes the NHL just so much more badass than the NBA and the NFL. It's like, you want to be a gangster, you want to, be a tough guy. Okay, drop the gloves. Let's fight a little bit. Like it happened the other day with the Penguins and Senators game. Crosby got into it a little bit because I don't know who whacked his hands, but Crosby tried to do a redirect, and then the defender slapped his wrist and slapped his stick down. Whistle had blown, and it's one of those. Okay, you want to be tough and start some shit, and they start wailing into each other behind the net. And it's there's no nonsense in the NHL. And not saying, I'm not going to take it from the PK Subban approach where he's talking about, it's a cultural difference of the toughness of how guys want to play and represent their teams, their countries and stuff in the NHL versus the NBA. But you don't fight in the NBA. you shove, you talk shit, and this and that. Like, I'd rather see what was going on with Jimmy Butler and Williams when Butler got into his face and they were talking shit, and like the banter back and forth of like when Doncic last season with Dallas hit a three over Rudy Gobert and he's, talking shit all the way back, down the court. Like, to me, that would be the equivalent of what the NHL is when, okay, we drop the gloves, we fight a little bit, because to me, it's a little silly to fight in the NBA when that's kind of not the tradition, versus the NHL when, oh yeah, if you have a problem, we drop the gloves. And then in football, you're fighting every play. Like, the aggression to want to fight and to swing on someone, it's not there because, you're hitting guys every play and you're taking out your aggression every play. The extra cheap shot stuff when, you're going out of bounds, someone flies out of nowhere and whacks you, like, yeah, that's going to start a little bit of an uproar. But I always get a kick out of, whether it's an offensive guy or defensive guy, dumbasses who want to hit when they have their helmets on. Like, they'll take, their hand and they'll try to punch him in the face when they have a helmet on. It's like, what the hell are you doing? But that I always get a kick out of that. Let's look at some of the NBA scores though. The Heat win 94-120 against the Wizards. Shit, are my Heat all of a sudden decide now it's the time to win? After losing 12 straight, now it's the time to win. They have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. I will give them props on beating the Warriors in Jimmy Butler's return. But look at who else you've beaten. Hornets, Hawks, 76ers, and Wizards. Bottom of the East kind of teams. Hornets beat the Jazz 110-106. Pacers beat the Kings 111-109. Clippers beat the Magic 96-87. Celtics continue their dominance. They improved to 56-19. They beat the Grizzlies 117-103. Thunder rout the Bulls. Holy hell. 145-117. Nets beat the Mavericks 109-113. And then the Lakers beat the Rockets 104-98. I was watching that game just a little bit before I flipped over to watch some baseball, Dodgers and Braves. When I stopped watching the Rockets game was a little middle of the third or fourth. It was after Finney Smith. It was after Adams and Finney Smith had their little tussle. And it's like, oh, here we go. Everybody's trying to brawl right now. So, see any standings here. Yep, Cavs still have the 1. Boston still has it 2. Boston's only 4 games behind. I think... 1, 2... no. I don't think Boston could catch Cleveland, and the reason why is look who Cleveland plays. Okay, they drop at least 1 against New York. Okay, they split 1-1 against New York. They have San Antonio, Sacramento, Chicago, and Indiana twice. They're not losing to the Spurs, Kings, or Bulls. They're not. The Cavs are on a roll right now. Now, do I think the Cavs get to the finals? That is yet to be determined. I kind of have a feeling. I did have Milwaukee up there, but after Damian Lillard having to cut the season short with the blood clots, it's a lame pick, but it's either Cavs or Celtics for the East. I don't think the parity is as big in the NHL where, okay, it could be 3 teams out of the East, 5 teams, 6 teams out of the West, because Bucks aren't doing it, Pistons aren't doing it. I could see the Pistons get to like the Eastern Conference Final, like with an upset where it's like, damn, Detroit swung 2 games, getting 1 against the Celtics and then 1 at home. Like maybe Detroit, because the Pacers, I know the Pacers went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but again, every team that they played in every single series, their star player was out. Giannis, Mitchell, like the Pacers' run to the Eastern Conference Final was fraudulent as shit last year. Just had to say it. Like last year's playoff run was very like the West. Oh my gosh, the West was a bloodbath, but the East, it like I along with probably a lot of other people, I thought Donovan Mitchell was done with the Cavs. I thought he was done, and then they reload, they come back. So look at them now; they're number 1 seed, 60-15. Okay. Out of the West, I could see the Thunder getting to the finals, but I'd say Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, and that's it. That's it. I don't think. Knock on wood. Clippers might get injured. Mavericks. Who do the Mavericks have? Grizzlies and Rockets. They ain't getting there. So, yeah. Any other big news from the NBA? Nope. Oh, I did see this, that Trae Young is named the assistant GM for the Sooners. Just like how Curry is now the assistant GM, kind of like same position, I think, for Davidson, and how Andrew Luck for football at Stanford. Like, again, I made this prediction a little while ago. I think it's the very young years. It's the first start. But, like, and obviously Michael Jordan started this because he owns the Hornets. But, like, I think, yes, these players that played for these teams that were iconic. Like, I don't think Pat Riley's ever going to hand over the Miami Heat to Dwayne Wade or LeBron. But, like, I would not be surprised if in a handful of years, decade, 2 decades from now, Curry's the owner or GM or making the big executive decisions for the Warriors. Or if they bring Klay Thompson and Curry and Tom, like, that is the trajectory that I think sports are going. And it's especially, I think, because it's starting now with the coaches. Mike Vick's coaching, JJ Reddit's, he's coaching. Who else used to be Nash? I'm trying to think of other big. I mean, we're seeing it with Vrabel. Vrabel used to, play on the Patriots, won a Super Bowl with Tom, and now he's coaching the Patriots. So I think that's Tom Brady. He owns the Raiders now. He's a part owner, but like we're getting to that era where there's nothing wrong with like your family bought the team back forever ago for a nickel, not an actual nickel, probably like $500,000 or $20 million or however much it cost back in that time. But like that thing where it's handed down. Hunt family from generation to generation, or the Rooney family generation to generation. I feel like that's going to be in the back burner here any second, and it will be the players and the coaches who run teams. And I think it's going to be a pro, and I think it's going to be a benefit for the sport and for the leagues and for the game, because you're not having these people who never played football make decisions for football. The tush push. You think out of everybody who plays on the Eagles right now, you think any of them want it banned? Hell no. Do you think any of them would want it banned in the next 50 years? Hell no. So, yeah. All right. Little tangent for that. March Madness. We got the Final Four locked. College football. Sorry. Sitting for a while. Been sitting for a while. All of a sudden, I'm sore now. We've only been streaming for 40 minutes, too, so it's like, why are we sore? I shouldn't be sore. Okay, college football. Let's see if there's any. Stanford hires Reich as interim head coach for 25. Prime deal. Deion Sanders signs a $54 million Buffs extension. Hey, however long this contract is, let's see. How many years? 5 year, $54 million. he better be making the college football playoff at least 3 of those 5 years. With who he brought on at quarterback, the playoff extending, if he can't make, now I've made a prediction video. It's sitting in my archives. There's parts of me that feel like Deion's going to go coach at Florida State, and then Florida State he's going to go to Dallas. So there's parts of me where it's like he doesn't even coach these 5 years. But I think anything less in these 5 years, anything less than a college football playoff berth or a Big 12 title is a failure. I truthfully think that. I think Colorado definitely turned it around this year, like how Arizona turned it around. I think some teams took a step back. K-State, Arizona, Utah. Holy shit, Utah's fallen off. But I mean, I think with where college football is at right now, and especially how they're leaving the door open for some teams to slide in at the 11th spot and the 10th spot, definitely Coach Sanders and Buffalo, the Buffs, could make the playoff. And that's not me glazing. That's not me trying to be a shill for Colorado, because believe me, sometimes I was getting sick of the shit and the coverage, because it's like, we're covering this team like they're the best team, and they can't even beat Nebraska. So like, don't feed me this shit and say it's chocolate cake. Like, it was getting pretty ridiculous. Because I was watching the whole Deion experience when they went 3 and like they got blown out by Oregon, USC. Like that first year, no, they did not do good. So I think in college football, you run the table and you win your conference, it's anybody's game. And I think with how the schedule played out and how the season played out last year, they're going to show bias to the Big Ten. The Big Ten was the best conference. And look at that. They had a national champion. That 5 spot, I think, is lukewarm right there for Notre Dame every year, because they're not a conference championship winner. They're not in a conference. And unless Notre Dame goes absolutely undefeated, they're never going to get the 1 seed. And they're never going to get a top 4 seed unless they go undefeated. So Notre Dame will probably be a lock. Notre Dame, Army, UConn, UMass, these teams that don't have a conference, they'll be a lock for that 5 seed. But with the Big 12 and how the Big 12 sits, let's go standings. Let's look at the standings. With how the Big 12 sitting, if the Buffs can get through, we'll see how Utah does this year. But Utah, Kansas State, BYU, Iowa State, and I'm curious to see how Arizona State does without Cam Scadaboo. I am interested in seeing that. But I mean, they finished 4th. They finished 4th in the Big 12 conference. If they didn't lose to Kansas in the last handful of weeks, they would have been playing for the Big 12 championship game. Like, that's how that played out. Is I thought personally, like the way it panned out after ASU beat BYU, like I was like, okay, we're gonna have a rematch here in 2 weeks, but BYU lost to Arizona and something else, whether it was Iowa State winning cemented them in. Like it was because it was a 4-way tie for first place, because Arizona State was 7-2, Iowa State 7-2, BYU, Colorado, they were all 7-2, but the team that had the better overall record was Arizona State, which is why they went in. But like the 3-way tie between the Cyclones, Cougars, and Buffalo is like, I'll be honest, I don't remember what shaked it out, but I know what kept Colorado out of even going to the Big 12 championship game was them dropping an easy one against Kansas. Like, people will forget about it, which is totally fine, but like Kansas, who is the Kansas and Florida for the SEC. I think was it Florida for the SEC? No, South Carolina. Yeah, it was Kansas and South Carolina. Just caused so much shit for all those conferences and gave them the position where Texas ended up playing Georgia, Arizona played like it. Those meaning like it's like this is a meaningless game. Those games ended up determining who played in these conference games. Because yeah, if Iowa State would have won, they would have been in the college playoff, and Arizona would have been left at home. That's just how it would have played out. So, okay, what else? Should we look at the UFL? Okay, let's look at the UFL real quick. And then we'll check the chat. And we'll see some of your guys' sports takes. Okay, out of the first week 1, the Battlehawks take care of the Roughnecks 31-6. The Renegades beat the Brahmas 33-9. Panthers take care of the Showboats 26-12. And the Defenders beat the defending champ Stallions 18-11. So yeah. Look at that. Out of the USFL, the only team that won, Michigan Panthers. I'll be honest. I don't know what teams they got rid of. Like, because I know the XFL and the USFL merged. I don't know what teams got dropped. Oh, the Seattle Sea Dragons team. That's one team I can think of. They got dropped. I'll probably look at that later, but yeah, we might cover UFL just depending on how things get towards baseball. Like, because yeah, there's gonna be a lull in June. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, when the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals are done, I think the UFL will be done too. Because the championship game, because I was looking at it, because I had to find a picture of Kellen Mond and Perez. The championship was on the 16th in June. So when we hit middle of June and July, the only sport to cover will be baseball and preseason football if we want to do that. So, all right. I think that is everything, guys. Oh, the hell! I'm such a rookie, guys. We haven't even talked about the NHL. Sorry. Let's get into it. Dallas Stars, yep. Complete that game. They beat the Kraken 3-1. I did watch that. Devils beat the Wild in a shootout 3-2. Flames beat the Avalanche 3-2 in a shootout as well. I did watch that game. I did. And I watched the overtime game. And the reason why I have him on the thumbnail, Mr. Brock Nelson, is because he could have put that game away. But the puck died right there on the post. McKinnon had a good shot. McKinnon had a couple chances. And it's going to go forgotten. But Makar had to play defense 2-on-1 with like 14 seconds left. And he stopped and prevented even a shot on Wedgwood. So it goes without, though. Flames win. Improve their chances to try to sneak a spot. If the Flames are going to take anybody's spot, it's going to be the Wilds. The Wild lost today to the Devils, so they miss out on their chance to get 2 points. Panthers Mikula fined for unsportsmanlike shot. Go figure, really? No. There was the brouhaha at the ending of the Habs-Panthers game. Ovechkin 5 away. Yeah, we knew that. Ooh, Oilers Draisaitl, first to top 50 goals this season. Well, let's see how he does in the postseason, because the same kind of stat line was how the Oilers were doing. And then, guess what? First 3 games of the Stanley Cup happened, and where were they? That's so crazy to look at, too, because hindsight's always 20/20. But literally, the Oilers disappeared in the first 3 games. And, like, it looked like, holy shit, Florida might get a sweep here. Like, it just... Man, last year's finals were really fun to watch. Let's do scores. I feel like there's one more game tonight. Yep. Okay, Flyers beat the Predators 2-1. Both teams have been eliminated, so it don't matter. We're kind of playing just whatever hockey where it's like, this don't really matter. Okay, so Calgary Flames. Yeah, they're sitting 6 points behind Minnesota. Blues are sitting 1 point behind Minnesota. I do think the Blues can overtake Minnesota. Whoop. And get that 7th seed and try to dance a little bit and make things interesting against Vegas. But yeah, that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about hockey, though, is because of it looked like it went in, but like literally it just died at the post. It was kind of puck don't lie kind of moment. Vancouver slipping out. Utah and Anaheim might be eliminated here any minute. Pittsburgh's going to get eliminated here in a minute too. I might make a video on them. Holy shit. I haven't looked at this. Our point differential, minus 56. We give up a lot of goals. The Bruins is minus 51. But that's because I don't know what it is. Like, you paid Swayman and then just things got... Oh my gosh. 1, 2... Holy cow, how many games in a row has Boston lost? 8 in a row. They've lost 8 in a row. I do know since the Four Nations break, they've had the worst record. I do know that. Out of the 18 games, I think they've only won 2, 3? Let's check. Yep, there's the 3. Penguins, Lightning, and Panthers. Because that's what's impressive, is they'll beat the Lightning 4-0. They'll beat the Panthers 3-2, and it's like, here we go. Here come the Bruins. No. And I did see Brad Marchand. He made his debut. Yeah, whatever. NHL Power Rankings, latest update poll, plus each team's strength of schedule, posted 4 days ago. And NHL fines Bruins rookie Callahan for cross-check. What? Yeah. Oh well. I think standings are all still the same. Yeah, Florida's the 3 seed. Rangers have tied the Canadiens. They have 77 points. So I really think it's the Canadiens to lose that spot, because Canadiens aren't jumping the Senators, and the Rangers and the Blue Jackets are not going to move in and take the Senators and the Canadiens out. Like, I think truthfully, there's only 2 more playoff spots to fight for, and it's the 8th seeds on both sides. And it's a battle between the Flames and the Wild, and then, yeah, the Habs and the Rangers. Because Vegas is a lock, Kings are a lock, Oilers are a lock. Stars locked things up, I think, yesterday. Colorado is going to get that 3 seed in the Central. Dallas is going to have home ice. That series is going to go either way. I mean, I will admit I kind of lucked out last year on my playoff predictions for the NHL. I don't think it's going to be the same this year. I think it's literally anybody's to win. It is anybody's to win. Okay, guys, I think we'll call it a stream there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat, guys. Do you like soccer? I do. Soccer, football, whichever one it is. Yeah. The debate between Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. I'm a Messi shill. I'm not gonna lie. I think who scores more goals? Obviously Ronaldo, but like who kind of weirdly in a Tom Brady sense motivates his team to be better and wins more, Messi. Like, look at what Messi has won. He's won 3 majors in the past 3 tournaments. Copa America, World Cup, and then Copa again. So I'd say right now Messi's better. But it's kind of like the LeBron MJ debate. I think both teams, oh my gosh, tremendous. Like, but I think we're gonna have a moment here where Messi and Ronaldo are gonna hang it up, and then we're gonna try to have to find, okay, who's the next best? Is it Kylian Mbappe? Would Luka Modric be gone by then and hang his up? I mean, I know we got the young stud out of Spain, and so maybe he's the future face of soccer for a little bit. Like it, I think, and oh my gosh, Haslam? No, what's his name? It's the blonde dude. He plays for Man City, I think. Hold on, let me look up soccer. Blonde ponytail. Here we go. Holland, not Haslam. Holland. Erling Holland. Erling. I know Erling. Yeah. What's that? The Manchester City. Yeah, not Manchester United, Man City. I know. I wouldn't say he's like a media darling, but I know that ESPN FC likes to cover him a lot, which not bad, not bad. I just, truthfully speaking, I have not seen one game he's played in, and the reality of that would probably be because I don't think he was in the World Cup, and I don't think he was in the Euros last year. I think when we were watching, whether it was Norway, because his nationality is English and Norwegian. I don't think he was on the England roster last year in the Euros. And we were watching, Kane and what's his name? The one who netted it. Oh, I can't even. I'm digging into summer of 2024. Trying to pull it out of a hat here. Oh, this is going to eat me. Who? England 2024 Euro squad. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer, Marcus Rashford, Jordan Pickford, Enzo Gomez, Phil Foden. Yeah. Love soccer. Love soccer. Soccer is one of those sports. Well, are there any major cups this year? I think this is the women's year, if I'm not mistaken. Because every 2 years it's either the Copa and the Euros, and then on the other opposite too. It's the FIFA World Cup. Let's see what major soccer tournaments are in 2025. Here we go. The FIFA Club World Cup. So club. Oh, it's the Arab states, the UAFA, and the FIFA Global. Defending champion Manchester City, Real Madrid. Oh, okay. So the FIFA Club World Cup. So your best clubs, the FIFA Intercontinental Cup, and then the Challenger Cup. Let's see when the dates of those are. And this begins in 74 days, 18 hours, 0 minutes, and 42 seconds. I'm already making a bold prediction. Like, I'll sit with it right now. Yeah, I think France is probably going to win the World Cup in 2026. Go away. Reject. Go away. Standings. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, this looks good. Oh, this looks fun. Oh, this looks fun. So we have all the standings. We have all the teams. There's A to H, 4 groups. Shit, which teams do I know here? I'm gonna guess the MIA is Inter Miami. SEA, I see SEA, so I'm thinking Seattle. Ventes, JUV. Ronaldo used to play there. Man City. There's Real Madrid. There's Chelsea. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know any. POR Portland or Portugal. Like I don't know any of these teams as well as I should. Shit, let's start reading some. Oh, so we have an African team here, the Al Ahili. The Al Ain is a Emirati Giants. The Al Halil is a Saudi team. The Benfica is a Portuguese team. Boca Juniors is an Argentinian group. Borussia Dortmund, the BVB, that club. Botafogo, Brazil. Chelsea, European. Club Leon. There's a Brazilian team in here. Flamengo. Esperance. That looks Tunisian. Okay. Inter Miami. There's Inter Miami. And hey, why hey, let me just break the ice here. Why is Inter Miami in this? Lionel Messi. Ventes, the Italian one. Internazionale, Italian. There's Manchester City. Mavalido. Mame Lodi. Sundown, South African. Monterrey. I don't know where Monterrey's from. Paris. PSG, my bad. PSG. I think Paris has what? Mbake. Mbake is Black Panther Wakanda. Kylian Mbappe, not Mbaku. Mbappe, and I think Neymar and Modric, and like Paris is pretty stacked. Real Madrid. Seattle, so that is the Seattle Sounders. U.S. hopefuls looking to shine on home soil. Australian powerhouse is Salzburg. Olsen, a Korean giant. Korean team, okay. Urada Reds, a Japanese team. And Wydad, representing Morocco. Okay. Okay. Those are all the teams. Interesting. I did not know where half of these teams came from. I love learning this history. Venues. Yes, because this is going to be global, I think. 63 matches across the United States, 32 teams. Yep, they're going to be in the Mercedes-Benz, Bank of America Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, the Rose Bowl. Stop, don't tempt me. Dude, the Rose Bowl, you cannot. The Rose Bowl, okay. I have a love for the Rose Bowl. And the Rose Bowl, this only comes from being a college football fan. The national championship needs to be in the Rose Bowl. every effing year, and there's no debate on it. I guarantee you 9 out of 10 college football fans would agree with that statement. Like, the semifinal games, yeah, sure. Put it in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Make it be the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Put it in Jerry World. Make it the Cotton Bowl. Orange Bowl. Go down to Florida. Like, make those the semifinal games in rotation. But the national championship at the granddaddy of them all, it's what it's got to be. I don't know if college football needs to start earlier in August. Wouldn't kill them, and it wouldn't hurt. But Rose Bowl, New Year's Day for the national championship, glorious. It can't happen because we're in a 12 team now. But dude, it just, I kind of sit with that, and I kind of sit with that notion of like, yeah, what's the problem with trying to play games? Because yeah, the football season ended really late. It ended like the 20. Let me look up when the national championship finished. NCAA football. Scores. Oh, I want 2020. It's giving me Stanford versus Hawaii, Kansas State versus Iowa State. It's giving me week 1 for this year, and it's like, no, I want last year. I want to see Ohio State versus Notre Dame, and I want to see 4th in the Big Ten. Wait, whoa. They, oh shit, you're making me do this the hard way. Ohio State versus Notre Dame. That game was on January 20th. So, January 20th versus January 4th through the 9th-ish has when it's been in the past for the national championship. If they were going to play the 12-team format and have the national championship on the 1st, they would need to play, like, because we take a break. Like, we have the championship weekend, the first weekend of December, and then we take a break for a month through the Christmas break. If they want the national championship to be on the 1st at the Rose Bowl, they need to play games through that time. And I don't think it would hurt them. But again, sometimes players need rest. So, Hard Rock Stadium. They're going to Nashville. Sick. MetLife Stadium in New York. Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. That's where the Eagles play. Lumen Field, where the Seahawks play. Oh, it's going to get loud at Lumen Field. Lumen Field better have, there we go, Group B, Sunday, June 15th. Yep. Botafogo versus Seattle Sounders. There we go. A home game for Seattle. Dude, tickets for that game, Sunday, June 15th. Dude, those tickets might be, I wouldn't be surprised if nosebleeds are $2,000, $3,000. Like, that shit's gonna be packed to the brim. Okay, nothing in. I'm surprised they're not going to SoFi Stadium in LA or any of that. Maybe they're probably saving that venue for the World Cup. But interesting. Very interesting. See the standings. I think the best group, you could throw Group A just because of Messi, but like overall, Seattle's been pretty good for the MLS. them and PSG. Shoot, I don't know. I'll try to find out rosters and who's on what team, who's playing, injuries. Bracket challenge. Submit your predictions. No, too soon. Too early. Okay, so that's soccer. We should put that, soccer. We'll put soccer in the bracket too. Wait a minute. Yeah, soccer is going on right now. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of leagues and a lot of cups. Okay. I want to know what the MLS standings are. Or maybe it's just La Liga and Serie A. Yeah, because this has everything. This has the Brazilian, the Argentine, the Colombian, the Costa Rican division. Like this has like the French, Spanish, Russian, Turkish. Like this has everything. It's pretty cool. Tables. Oh, there we go. The MLS. Inter Miami. They have won. They're 4-1-0. They're first in the MLS. Their next game is going to be against LAFC on the 2nd. So on Wednesday. Philadelphia Union, Columbus Crew, Chicago Fire, Charlotte FC, Nashville. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll end the stream here. I don't know too much about soccer to be like, oh, here we go. All right, people. Yeah, we've been streaming for over an hour now, and we kind of rambled there at the end. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on all of that. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll do, I don't know what we might do tomorrow. Get ready for those videos to post that I have. I have 4 queued up. I'll let you, here, let me read out the 4 videos that's coming to you guys. We have Torpedo Bats, Tush Push Ban, the Browns owner comments on Deshaun Watson, and St. John's. So we'll talk about those later. All right, people. We're going to end the stream there. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.